Let's dive into our explainer on Genesis 35. It's a profound chapter of incredible spiritual peaks and devastating valleys.
So, what actually happens when God calls a deeply fractured family back to their spiritual roots at Bethel?
God tells Jacob, "Arise, go up to Bethel." He's sending him right back to his very first divine encounter.
Jacob urgently commands his household to spiritually cleanse themselves. They must ditch the idols and completely separate from pagan influences. As they traveled, a literal terror from God fell on the surrounding cities, miraculously stopping anyone from pursuing them.
Safe at last, Jacob builds an altar called El Bethel. It's a powerful anchor of worship, honoring God's faithful protection.
But sorrow hits hard. Rebekah's nurse, Deborah, dies and is buried under Allenbach Guth, literally the Oak of Weeping.
Then, a massive spiritual peak, God appears, renewing the covenant and officially changing Jacob's name to Israel.
Declaring himself God Almighty, he promises Israel a fruitful nation, kings, and the very land given to Abraham. In pure worship, Israel sets up a stone pillar, pouring a drink offering to memorialize God's amazing faithfulness. The journey continues toward Ephrath, but tragedy strikes again. Rachel suffers through a harsh, ultimately fatal labor. Dying, she names him Benoni, son of my sorrow. But Jacob calls him Benjamin, finding joy amidst crushing loss. Rachel is buried on the road to Bethlehem. Jacob marks her grave with a pillar that stands out forever. The family fractures further. Reuben commits a grave moral sin with Bilhah, heavily jeopardizing his spiritual leadership and birthright. Yet despite these intense moral failings, God's grace prevails, officially establishing the 12 sons as Israel's future foundation. Tracking this map, you clearly see how this geographical movement mirrors Jacob's intense spiritual evolution toward covenant obedience.
Jacob finally makes it to Hebron. He reunites with his father, Isaac, bringing this generational covenant story full circle. Isaac reaches the absolutely remarkable age of 180 years, beautifully described as being full of days. The patriarchal era shifts as Isaac dies. He's gathered to his people, leading to a powerful moment of reconciliation. Just like Isaac and Ishmael before them, former enemies Esau and Jacob finally unite to bury their father together. The big takeaway? While human lives are totally volatile and messy, God's sovereign covenant promises remain completely unbreakable. So, navigating your own life's highest peaks and lowest valleys, how will you remember God's totally unchanging faithfulness?